Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Wednesday to you. Taking a look at Bitcoin here and just talking a little bit about the obvious, right? We've kind of trending towards the CME gap here. That's this 28,000 to 20,300 range. We also, of course, have a bearish engulfing candle so far here today. Now, you could argue that we had a bullish engulfing candle yesterday, which is accurate, but we were also retesting that strong resistance level at 30,500. So a lot of little things that we can kind of disseminate here to kind of, understand that the price is probably going to continue further. I mean, just to jump right in, we got a MACD divergence here. We've got RSI tapering off underneath 70 and effectively trending towards 50. The true test here will be as if the price bounces off 50 or if it holds. Okay. Now, overall, too, if we take a look at the Bitcoin index, we can also see that the amount of volume is starting to kind of come down a little bit. In other words, here in the most recent past, we can kind of see this downtrend of volume, right? And as you start to lose volume and the price continues to increase, you run the risk of the price retracing very significant. So those are just some things I like to kind of bring to you that, refresh your memory on, kind of certain things you may kind of overlook that are also equally as important. So just something to recognize as kind of an important factor, right? And when it comes to just say some other important things as well, we want to take a look at the moving averages and just note that we are testing the 20-day SMA again. Now, the 20-day SMA is a pretty common trend setter, so we can kind of see here that this trend here is essentially just continue to increase as we stay above the 20. If we break below, there's a great chance we're going to trend below that for some time. It may not be a long time. It's not like the 200-day SMA, for example. That takes a long time to get back up above, which we are still above. Keep that in mind. There's a lot of positivity here. But in the immediate sense, the fact here is that we need to understand and recognize that there's a great chance we could see the price action come down lower, and I wouldn't second guess it. I'm very happy to have had my $29,000 Bitcoin, target essentially hit, and I'm able to hit all those DCA targets. And keep in mind, if you are new to the channel or whatever, I do use Twitter very often, and it's one of those things where we actually use a lot of good resources here and provide that to our community. Okay, so if you're not part of the community, feel free to check that out. But generally speaking, we've got a lot of good options here, of course, to help you stay abreast on the fundamentals and the technicals, and a lot of good things to kind of help recognize, just kind of where we're at. And actually something to recognize too, this is our Bitcoin short from last night, 45% in 15 hours. So congrats to our community members for that. We hit all three targets and we've still got 2 left to go. Okay, so again, DCA targets are hitting, our shorts are hitting. There's some really good stuff here going on right now. So again, if you want to become a better trader, cryptocash.tech is a website. Link down below, I actually have a trading academy community and signals group. Really awesome, a lot of fun there. But generally speaking, Bitcoin is looking like it wants to retrace. Okay, so we recognize on the daily that we are definitely bearish, right? Let's take a look at the 4-hour here and acknowledge the fact we are establishing lower lows. And this was somewhat of a parallel high, but if you kind of go back a little bit, it's more so lower highs, right? So in essence, we are trending downwards, all right? So we could just say we're trending down like this and this, for example. And typically when you do that, there can be a breakout to the upside, of course. Keep that in mind, I'm not ruling that out. That is a potential reality. But I think it would make a lot more sense for the price to continue further down this trend before we see that bullish type of breakout. It would make more sense for it to gravitate towards the CME gap, get that filled, and then the price action come back up. Okay, so that is a good distinct possibility. So I'm going to be looking for some long positions at about 28,000. I think that's a pretty realistic time to consider getting in there. But right now, there's no proof here that the price is going to stop going down. Taking a look at the 4-hour, we can kind of see that the RSI is tapering off as well. Bounced off of 30, as I mentioned previously, is a common thing. It shouldn't have bounced that hard, but it got rejected very strong at the 30,500 mark. Which again is pretty much right where we had our entry target for our short. So let's see here. So again, the 45% 15 hours, we had an AVAX trade here recently, the long that was closed after take profit. But this is what the trade looked like. For example, it's a 20x short, regular cross leverage. And we can see we got 2 entries there at 30,250 and 30,500. Averaged that up a little bit to 30,375. And then of course we hit all 3 targets here so far. We've still got 28,600 and 20,000 left, and I'm confident we'll probably hit 28.6. It feels much more likely to do that. But what's great is our stop loss is moving with the targets. So our target here, it was 1. So once we hit target 1, adjust the stop loss to break even. And essentially now at this point, 29.6 is our stop loss because of the fact that we came down to 29.2. So again, all this stuff's fully automated, built into the trades. It's really awesome. So congrats again to my community members that were following that. But I'm mentioning that just because it's important to recognize that there can be profits in either direction, and you don't always have to just long if you want. Again, you want to be careful with shorting, of course, but for the most part, the proof was here. It seemed fairly obvious to me that the price is going to come back down further. That's why we decided to take our trade. So taking a look at TD sequential here, we can kind of see that there's not a lot of continuation here, for lack of better terms. Granted, we took our short somewhere in this range because of the fact that we had a 9 on TD sequential and we previously had a 9. So if you see, price ramps up after hitting that overextension, price ramps down after hitting that overextension. It's kind of a common theme characteristic. That being said, we don't have anything like that right now, so no need to worry, just kind of hang tight. I am considering a secondary short, perhaps for Ethereum, but that's another conversation for another day. That being said, Ichimoku Cloud, we have all green lights here to leave your short position open. While this is fairly strange and unique behavior here for the cloud, we're well below the cloud. There's no reason to want to take a long into this. I wouldn't, I would definitely consider adding to your position, of course, and seeing if you want to maybe dollar cost average your way down. To me, 30,000, 29,000, 28.2. There's different ranges I'm shooting for to try to get filled before the price comes up again. Okay, so for the most part, we're looking pretty good here for Bitcoin on the way down. I don't think it's looking good for the way up immediately. I'd be very surprised if it ramps back up. But again, stranger things can happen. I mean, you saw what happened yesterday. It just ramped right back up, got rejected again. I wouldn't be surprised if it decides it wants to shoot up again, but it'd be less common for that to happen, right? Less consistent, if you will. And if we can take a look here, there's really no consideration here for a long position at all for our CC Golden Indicator, telling us we have literally no confirmation on the horizon. Okay, we're well below this moving average here. We're kind of within that cloud. And in truth, for the most part, if you're going to take a long position, you want to be well above that. Okay, so just make sure you are taking a trade right now using the CC Golden Indicator, which is available on my homepage. I would recommend just being patient at this point, because no confirmation is good confirmation, if you will. It tells you that there's nothing going on. And that's standard. You shouldn't be getting confirmation for long right now if the price is coming down the way it is. This bearish engulfing candle is very concerning. If we close at the range of about 29,500 or lower, I'm probably going to open another short. That's essentially what we're looking at here. I think it's very realistic for the CME gap to get filled and for us to continue down a little bit further. So try not to buy into the hype. Yes, the bull market is on the horizon. Alt season is also kind of here. But you can see here today, Bitcoin sells off. Look at what happens. A sea of red. Okay, again, a lot of alts are getting smashed right now. And what that means is mainly because Bitcoin dominance is increasing. Okay, we see Bitcoin dominance up in the last 2 days. Big surprise, the price is kind of down for Bitcoin, right? So interesting little fact here that as this continues to come down, alts are going to come up. It is reaching that resistance level, keep in mind. So we've seen this happen a few times, but I wouldn't be surprised if the price comes back up, gets rejected, comes back down, alts start to come back alive. Money comes from Bitcoin, goes into altcoins, but Bitcoin needs to be up a little bit higher for them to take profits because a lot of people are in the red right now. In fact, let's take a quick look at High Block Capital. I kind of overlooked that here just to kind of round things out here. And let's see here, just to quickly note, let's go ahead and take a look at this last 7 hours and kind of see roughly what that looks like, because I don't think it's changed too much from yesterday. We still have that resistance level there at about 31,000 as a close approximate and support at 27.3. Okay, so those are liquidation levels. Those are basically open positions that people have that are either closed or are still remaining open. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be a liquidated position per se to have this show up on the map. These are just positions that haven't gotten effectively filled yet. So there's a lot of entries at the low 27.3 mark. So I think there's a lot of consideration for the price action to come down to the 28,000 range. And what they're doing is they're putting their stop loss below that level to ensure they don't get stopped out. So if you're going to do a long position at 28K, make sure your stop loss is somewhere like the 27.5, 27.3 range. That's kind of what it's telling us here. Other than that, very last thing here to kind of summarize, obviously we have a lot more longs getting liquidated here. Open interest is still coming down. That's typically I wouldn't say it's a negative sign, but as open interest decreases and the price goes down, they continue to go down together. The inverse applies too. More open interest, more volume, big surprise, more volume, the price goes up when you have green candles. So right now, it's no surprise the price is coming down here. We have a lot more shorts being opened as well, or at least the global bid-ask ratio. Those are more asks than bids, essentially saying that more people are trying to sell right now than buy. Okay, so again, very standard stuff there. So that's kind of where we're at there in the overall sense of things. Hope that was descriptive and helpful for you. One last little quick favor, if you could, please, go ahead and join our Twitter. Go ahead and follow us, and you'll be staying alive with a lot of really cool stuff here. I can tell you we have somewhere between 25 to 50 tweets per day, and they're all relevant and important things you need to know. We're also providing a giveaway here too, so if you follow, like, and retweet this, you have a chance to go ahead and become a community member for a month. Go ahead and see if you like it. It's a really awesome benefit. We had 3 members last week that have joined, and they're having a good time. They were able to take advantage of those short surveys. Again, cool stuff. Check that out in your own time. Thank you so much for joining me here. Look forward to working with you if you want to become a better trader. CryptoCash.tech. If not, that's cool too. Continue to learn as much as you can from these videos. Have a great one. We'll see you in the next one.